Hey, hello, good night. I'm Saul Juarez. I'm an undergrad student of physiotherapy at the State University of Sonora, and right now I'm going to present you a brief video of what we learned on the nutrition class. The subject is the fatty acids or lipids. A colloquial name of this one would be the fat. This one is a macronutrient we most of the time find on every type of a living being, such as plants, bacteria, even human or animal beings. This one have some characteristics such as this cannot be pretty easily dissolved in water, so that's what when we need to utilize this soap or another type of things instead of only water to remove it from our face most of the time. This is a typical example of it. So another characteristics comparing it to another type of macronutrient such as the carbohydrate is that this one is not cyclical. It's pretty similar to the carbohydrate, but the structure is not cyclical. As you can see that the carbohydrate has an hexagon type of structure most of the time, but this one has a straight carbon chain on the type of structure, and we most of the time utilize the zigzag structure for this one. This also have a methyl starting end and a acid finishing end. This one also have classification of it. We have the fatty acids, the saturated fatty acids, and the unsaturated fatty acids. As well for the lipids, we have complex, simple, and complex fatty acids. We have also lipids without fatty acids, such as the steroids. Their main function on the human beings is to regulate the temperature. It also is part of the cell membrane, and also this one helps to make some type of help of digestion. I'm going to present you some type of structures we have on the classification of the fatty acid. This classification will be the aesthetic fatty acid. This one is an unsaturated fatty acid. As I said before, we have the starting methyl end on this part, and this one has a long chain of carbons. We have also the acid end as right here. This one cannot be having a lack of nitrogen of the carbon chains as this structure cannot be happening. If this one would be like that, this couldn't be possible as this is. But by the other side, as like this compound cannot exist, we have a possibility of this one to be like the monounsaturated fatty acid. This one have a specification of it that it could have a lack of hydrogens right here, but we have a double bond on the monounsaturated fatty acid. An example of this type of fatty acid of foods that we can find is in most of the oils that we utilize to cook our food, such as the olive oil, canola oil, and some other examples of them. This is a simplified structure of this one. As I said before, it goes as a zigzag structure, having right here the methyl end and the acid end. As you can see, the fatty acids are composed most of the time by carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens. These are the only components is this composed by. Also, we have the polyunsaturated fatty acid. The difference between these ones and the mono is that they have even more double bonds of them. So we can have two double bonds as the linoleic acid or even more. For the examples of this type of linoleic acid on foods that we can find is the seeds as the sunflowers, also some type of nuts such as the peanuts, hazelnuts, or even more nuts that you can imagine. Okay, so those are the examples. Also, as you may know, for the characteristics of the monounsaturated fatty acids and the polyunsaturated is that the mono you can find them on the liquid state temperature, normal temperature, and for the polyunsaturated fatty acids, the food we find them on the solid state temperature, most of the time. What about the digestion on the humans of it? Okay, the digestion of it, this one is being stimulated by the enzymes we have on our mouth, such as the enzyme lipids. This is one we can utilize to break the bones of it and have a even simpler type of structure of the fatty acid. The digestion and the absorption of this one goes most of the time on the small intestine. This is the complete absorption of it. We also have some enzymes being on the gallbladder. It as well has the lipids, bile lipids. Their main function of this one is to regulate the temperature of the people, such as the carbohydrates. Is also to complete the full nutrition of it. Is a pretty good fountain. Is a pretty completely good fount of energy. It's even a complex way of energy as well, but it has even a harder way to digest this one. The organs we utilize to digest this type of lipids is the stomach, the mouth as well, to eat the food that has fatty acids. The stomach, small intestine, the pancreas, the liver, and the gallbladder, as I said before. So that would be it. Thank you very much for your understanding and your being today. Have an excellent day.